Meet Marcus and Derek. Same age, same city, same job title, same rough salary. Marcus drives a 2016 Honda Civic. He owns a slow cooker. His friends joke that his idea of luxury is buying the good olive oil. Derek has the same paycheck, but he also has a stainless steel shrine to espresso in his kitchen and a car payment that hits his bank account like a bar fight every month. $772 every single month. To the outside world, Derek looks like he's winning. Marcus looks forgettable. Now here's the part nobody wants to hear. At 36, Marcus has $340,000 invested. Derek has $1,000. That's it. 1,000. And this is the first brutal truth of wealth. The person who looks rich and the person who is becoming rich are often two completely different people. Because wealth is not the car in the driveway. Wealth is the option value behind the scenes. It's the money that wasn't spent. It's the life you quietly bought back from panic. Or, as Morgan Housel put it, wealth is what you don't see. It's the cars not purchased, the clothes not bought, the jewelry not worn. Wealth is hidden. The lie sold by financial media is almost always the same. That wealth comes from a secret strategy. That there's a magic stock, a hidden tax loophole, a side hustle from Bali, a perfect moment to enter the market. A genius move normal people are too dumb to understand. That lie is convenient because it flatters your ego. It tells you the reason you're not wealthy isn't your behavior. It's just that you haven't found the trick yet. But the data says otherwise. In Ramsey Solutions survey of 10,000 millionaires, 79% received zero inheritance, and 1/3 never made six figures in a single working year. Not once. The dominant pattern wasn't luck, family money, or flashy income. It was long-term consistency. Living below their means, investing regularly, and avoiding lifestyle inflation. That's the part people hate. Because consistency is not sexy. You can't put contributes to index funds automatically every month for 18 years on a thumbnail with flames behind it. But that's the story. Millionaires are often not financial daredevils. They're financial boars with stamina. And here's what makes this harder. You're not just fighting your own impulses. You're living inside an extraction economy. An economy meticulously engineered to shave money off you in tiny, socially acceptable ways before you ever get the chance to invest it. Convenience fee, delivery fee, service fee, premium upgrade, auto renewal, buy now, pay later, one-click checkout, suggested tip, only $14.99 a month. This is not random. It is a business model. As Tim Wu put it in a discussion on the extraction economy, our loss of agency becomes their bottom line. Convenience costs us not just money, but control. That's why everyday wealth building looks so boring. Because boring is the only thing that survives an economy designed to monetize your impatience. Let's start with the most expensive costume in middle-class America, the vehicle. A new truck or SUV doesn't just cost money. It vaporizes money. Edmunds notes that a new car can lose about 20% of its value the moment it leaves the lot. So, on a $49,000 truck, that's roughly $9,800 gone instantly. Not over 5 years. Not after an accident. Instantly. And then there's the payment. Edmunds reported that the average monthly payment on financed new vehicles hit $772 in Q4 2025. Now here's the opportunity cost punch in the throat. If that same $772 per month went into a low-cost S&P 500 index fund and compounded at about 9.85% for 30 years, it would grow to roughly $1.69 million. That is the car trap in one sentence. You did not buy transportation. You sold a future multi-million-dollar option package, so your parking lot status would improve. Marcus understood that. Derek wanted leather seats. Next, food. Not because lattes are destroying your future. That advice is lazy. The real issue is recurring convenience dependence. A lot of people don't realize they've built an entire lifestyle around paying to avoid minor friction. Ordering instead of cooking. Delivery instead of pickup. Pre-cut instead of whole. Impulse snacks instead of planned meals. None of these bankrupt you in isolation. Together, they quietly own you. Let's say your "I'm too tired to cook" habit creates a $480 monthly gap between home cooking and convenience spending. That doesn't sound like wealth. It sounds like Tuesday. But invest that $480 a month for 25 years at about 10%, and you're looking at roughly $630,000. That's the slow cooker strategy. It's not about chili. It's about refusing to let your entire financial future get mugged by convenience. And that's what people miss about wealth building. It is often just friction management. The third habit is one of the least glamorous and most powerful. Automate everything. Because your future self loses most fights with your current brain. Your current brain wants relief. Dinner, dopamine, a reward, a little treat, and then another little treat. Your future self wants compound growth. That is not a fair fight unless you rig the system. Vanguard's How America Saves 2025 found that plans with automatic enrollment had a 94% participation rate versus 64% for voluntary enrollment plans. That's the lesson. Don't rely on motivation. Use defaults. Don't try to remember to invest. Make forgetting impossible. Because every month you automate a contribution, your current brain gets fewer chances to sabotage your long-term life. This one is heresy in a culture drunk on upgrades. Buy the second best house. Not the house that maxes out the bank's approval. The house that leaves margin. The first best house gives you status. The second best house gives you oxygen. And that oxygen creates what I'd call a physiological release. You sleep better. You breathe better. You argue less. You don't feel like every career decision has a mortgage-shaped gun behind it. Now run the math. If choosing the second best house frees up roughly $800 a month, and you invest that difference at 10% for 30 years, that's about $1.8 million in extra retirement wealth. One housing choice. One ego bruise. One less granite countertop. In exchange, you buy decades of margin. That's not deprivation. That's strategic breathing room. Here's the part that discourages people right before things start working. The first $100,000 is the hardest. Not emotionally, mathematically. Because in the beginning, your money is weak. It's tiny. It contributes almost nothing. You are doing nearly all the lifting. If you invest $10,000 a year at 7%, it takes roughly 7.8 years to reach your first $100,000. That feels insulting. 7.8 years for 100 grand? Yes. Because at that stage, you are still the engine. But once you cross real asset thresholds, something changes. Your money starts picking up shifts. At $100,000, a 7% year is $7,000. At $500,000, it's $35,000. At $1 million, it's $70,000. Now your portfolio is earning something close to a full-time salary. That's the physics. The early years feel dead because the compounding machine hasn't had enough fuel yet. People quit in year 5 because they expected fireworks in year 2. Marcus kept going. That's why Marcus wins. And this brings us to the most offensive truth in personal finance. Trying to be smart is often the most expensive mistake you can make. Because the default strategy works embarrassingly well. Low-cost index funds are boring. They are repetitive. They are not cocktail party material. And they keep humiliating professionals. Citing S&P Dow Jones data, TKDR reported that over a 20-year period, 91% of active large-cap fund managers underperformed the S&P 500. Source. So when people say, "I want to be more sophisticated," what they often mean is, "I would like to pay extra to make my odds worse." Marcus didn't need to feel brilliant. He needed to be rich. So he chose the default, the boring thing, the statistically superior thing. And then he got on with his life. Now, let's talk about why none of this feels impressive in 2026. Because we live in the age of money dysmorphia, a distorted perception where objectively meaningful financial progress can feel like failure. You can have a $300,000 net worth and still feel broke if your reference point is social media, inflated housing markets, and people cosplaying wealth online. CNBC, citing Credit Karma, reported that 29% of Americans say they experience money dysmorphia, and the share rises to 43% for Gen Z and 41% for millennials. The article also notes how social comparison, especially through social media, intensifies the problem. So of course, $300,000 can feel like nothing. Inflation changed the numbers. Comparison changed the emotions. And the algorithm changed the benchmark. That does not mean your progress is fake. It means your environment is distorting your perception. Remember the quote, "Wealth is what you don't see," which means if you are building wealth correctly, it may not even look like wealth for a very long time. No applause, no envy, no viral moment, just increasing freedom behind a boring exterior. So no, these habits are not sexy. Driving the paid-off car, cooking at home, automating index fund contributions, buying less house than the bank says you can afford, ignoring the performance theater of fake wealth. None of this will make strangers think you've made it. That's the point. Because these habits are not about being cheap. They are about buying back the power to say no. No to a job you hate. No to a boss who owns your nervous system. No to debt payments that turn your ambition into captivity. No to the life where every decision is pre-spent before you even make it. That is what everyday millionaires are really buying. Not yachts, not validation, not applause, options. And if you understand that, then Marcus doesn't look boring anymore. He looks dangerous. Because Derek has the image. Marcus has the exits. If this video gave you a new way to think about wealth, hit that subscribe button and join the Amin Finance Hub community. I'll see you in the next one.